Thrash is your pretty typical shark natural disaster movie, but this movie tells of a shark attack during a hurricane where you follow different groups of people, and when the levees break, sharks come in. Now, I say this is your pretty typical shark during natural disaster movie because it is not the worst movie, it is not the best. It's fine. And that's really how I feel about a lot of the type of shark movies. So let's go ahead and talk about Thrash. Going into the pros, the first pro I'll give it is I think they do a good job leading up to the hurricane. They show a timer on screen and it's like the first 15 minutes is like leading up to the hurricane. I think they do a good job with that. They show people trying to get out, planning to leave. Show's gonna be pretty bad. There's even at one point in the movie where they said if there should be a type 6 hurricane, it should be this. So I think they do a good job leading up to the events of the hurricane. I also like the character stories told. Now you get enough time with each individual group, and I think for the most part they do a good job rounding those stories together, with the exception of one story, which is honestly the one that I like the most of the movie, so I'm a bit disappointed with that one. But I do think you get enough time. I do like how they have the separate stories during the hurricane. And the sharks, they're fine in this movie. Yeah, the sharks look fine. You get enough screen time with the sharks. You get like an underwater look during the movie too with the sharks. The sharks are fine. Going into the mixed. The first mixed I'll give it here is one of the main characters that you follow is pregnant, and that's not a spoiler. That's like the first thing you kind of learn when you get introduced to this character. And the way they handle that story is, it's something. It definitely fights, taking some realism from it. I do have some questions, but how they handle that is something. And I think that's the weakest storyline. Of the 3 storylines you get, I think the one with the pregnant woman is definitely the weakest by stretch, and that's probably like my least favorite of the 3. I also think the sibling storyline, which is probably my favorite of them, I wish we saw how they ended. I understand we saw the end of it, but I really wish it came all connected together, even if it added like an extra 5 minutes. I just wish I saw the end of that storyline. And for the cons, the biggest con I give it is the cliches, and this can definitely easily be nitpicks, but the conveniences and the cliches in this movie, most notably one, again, with the pregnant woman, when she is thrown in conveniently, like the branches hit her like this close, enough to where she doesn't get hurt. I mean, I get what they're going for, but like just little cliches and conveniences in the movie when you do get it. There's also moments in this movie where you have to really suspend your disbelief. At one point, someone you think is dead just totally comes back alive. At one point, another shark saves someone when realistically, why wouldn't they go after the human? And at one point, there's like a whole puddle of blood and somehow this girlie survives. I don't know, it's kind of all over the place, but that's kind of a lot of movies like this have that same problem. And I will say, this is a very forgettable shark movie, so I'm probably being more lenient than other people will be. Now, going into the spoilers, yes, this is a video. We were already at the spoilers, and we're already a little over 3 minutes in. Now, this is your pretty generic movie, so I feel like it's pretty hard to like make a really long video out of it. But let's talk about some spoilers that we do get in this movie. And the first one I want to talk about involves the 3 storylines you get, which is, I categorize them as 3. You get the uncle trying to help his niece, and I think acting-wise they do a fine job too. You have the pregnant woman who knows she's about to give birth soon, and then you have the 3 siblings that are in the foster care system. And if you had to go in order, I would say the sibling story is my favorite. Second favorite by default has to go with the uncle trying to save his niece storyline. I think that's fine. I think it makes sense for the story to have that. And the pregnant woman storyline is my again the weakest of the 3, mainly because you rely on a lot more conveniences than that. And you could argue for some for the niece when she like falls over how that works out, but you gotta have a lot of disbelief not only with the pregnancy, she literally gives birth in the water, which is crazy. And I'm not a doctor. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. That was just kind of out there. Another thing I will say is I don't know. And I feel like, and this could be in a general sense of movies like this, because we do actually have another shark movie next month. I kind of have a little bit of a soft spot for these movies. Last year, or was it 2024? Whenever Deep Paris came out, I honestly had a really good time with Deep Paris. Why do I say Deep Paris? Under Paris, that's what it was called, Under Paris. And that was a guilty pleasure movie of mine, Under Paris. And I haven't rewatched it in a minute, so I can't say I for sure still believe that. I think I need to watch it with fresh eyes now. But shark movies in general, I feel like they are so generic and so common and just honestly all the same. You could say that for a lot of genres in horror, okay, but sharks is just like the easiest one to point to. And having this movie set during a hurricane, I feel like you could take some scenes from, like, I think it's Under Paris, where the city goes underwater. Spoiler warning for Under Paris. And you just kind of take the floating of the city. I feel like you could honestly put some of those scenes in this movie, like for split seconds, and you couldn't tell the difference. And that could go for a lot of these movies in general. I don't know. I feel like I understand. I can see why some people don't like this and think it's annoying, but I don't know. Shark movies, you really haven't gotten a good one in a really long time. And that is, I guess, a little bit of a rant because there's not a lot to talk about spoilers because it's just a shark movie during a hurricane. So comment down below if you saw Thrash. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think of shark movies? Do you think there's way too many of them? Do you not mind them? Are they your favorite genres? Comment down below and I'll see you guys soon because I believe right after this, we are talking about Faces of Death, which is another movie, spoiler, that I feel is just fine. I'll see you guys there.